Presentation on Steve Jobs. Introduction. Stephen Paul Jobs, shortly known as Steve Jobs, was an American entrepreneur, inventor, business magnate, media proprietor, and investor. He was the co-founder, the chairman, and CEO of Apple, the chairman and majority shareholder of Pixar, and founder of Next. He is widely known as a pioneer of the personal computer revolution of the 1970s and 1980s, along with his early business partner and fellow Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak. Childhood. Steve Jobs was born in San Francisco, California, and raised in Los Altos. He was born to a Syrian father and a German-American mother. He was adopted shortly after birth. His parents was Abdul Fattah Jandali and Joan Sheeble Simpson, and his adoptive parents are Paul Jobs and Clara Jobs. The Apple Computer Company visionary was adopted by his father, Paul Jobs, and mother, Clara Jobs. As a son of a Coast Guard mechanic, Steve Jobs showed an early interest in electronic and gadgets and befriended many of the engineers who lived in the neighborhood. Though Jobs' family was not well off, they used all the savings in 1967 to buy a new home, allowing Jobs to change schools. When he was 13 in 1968, Jobs was given a summer job by Bill Hewlett of Hewlett-Packard after Jobs cold called him to ask for parts for an electronics project. Education. Steve Jobs skipped the 5th and transferred into 6th grade at Crittenden Middle School. In Homestead High School, he began his first year in late 1968. By his senior year in late 1971, he was taking freshman English class at Stanford and working on a Homestead Underground film project with Chris Ann Brennan. In September 1972, Jobs enrolled at Reed College in Portland, Oregon. Personal life. In 1989, Jobs first met his future wife, Laureen Powell, when he gave a lecture at Stanford Graduate School of Business where she was a student. They married on March 1991 in a Buddhist ceremony. They had 4 children: Lisa Brennan Jobs, Eve Jobs, Reed Jobs, and Aaron Sienna Jobs. Career and inventions. In February 1974, Steve Jobs returned to his parents' home in Los Altos and began looking for a job. He was soon hired by Atari Inc. in Los Gatos, California, which gave him a job as a technician. In mid-1975, after returning to Atari, Jobs was assigned to create a circuit board for the arcade video game Breakout. Apple I. By March 1976, Wozniak completed the basic design of Apple I computer and showed it to Jobs. Wozniak was at first skeptical of the idea, but later agreed. The original selling price when Apple I was launched in 1976 was $666.66. In the same year in April, Jobs, Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne founded Apple Computer Company. Apple II. Apple II was launched in 1977. It was an updated version of Apple I. Wozniak had contributed much to its new features, which made it easier to use. It was one of the first mass-produced, widely popular, and profitable personal microcomputer. Macintosh. On January 1984, Steve Jobs introduced the first Macintosh at Apple's annual shareholders meeting in Cupertino, California. The Macintosh was based on the Lisa, and it was widely acclaimed by the media with strong initial sales supporting it. Next, in 1985, Jobs was forced out of Apple after a long power struggle with its then CEO, John Sculley. Then Jobs took few employees of Apple to found Next, a computer platform development company that specialized in computers' higher education and business markets. Pixar. The new company was Pixar, which produced the first 3D computer-animated feature film, Toy Story, in 1995, and went on to become a major animation studio, producing over 20 films. Since, with Jobs credited as executive producer, bought financial success. It was sold to the Walt Disney Company. iMac the Apple. iMac G3 was introduced in 1998, and its innovative design was directly the result of Jobs' return to Apple. The iMac also featured forward-thinking changes such as eschewing the floppy disk drive and moving exclusively to USB for connection peripherals. iPod. The first generation of iPod was released on October 23, 2001. The introduction of iPod resulted in Apple becoming a major player in the music industry. The capacity of that iPod ranged 5 gigabytes to 10 gigabytes. The songs could be bought online at the iTunes retailer for as little as 99 cents. iPhone Apple began work on first iPhone in 2005, and first iPhone was released on June 29, 2007. A major feature of iPhone 4S, introduced in October 2011, was Siri, a virtual assistant capable of voice recognition. It created such a sensation that 6 out of 10 Americans were aware of its release. iPad. The iPad is an iOS-based line of tablet computers designed and marketed by Apple. The first iPad was released on April 3, 2010. The iPad includes built-in Wi-Fi and cellular connectivity on select models. As of April 2015, more than 250 million iPads have been sold. Honors and Awards 1985. National Medal of Technology by U.S. President. 1987. Jefferson Award for Public Service. 1991. Howard Vollum Award from Reed C. 2004 to 2010. Listed among the Time 100 most influential people in the world. 2007. Named the most powerful man in business by Fortune magazine. 2012, Grammy Trustees Award. 2012, Edison Achievement Award. 2013, posthumously inducted as a Disney legend. 2022, the President Medal of Freedom by U.S. President, etc. Death. Jobs died at his Palo Alto, California home on October 5, 2011, due to complications from a relapse of his previously treated islet cell, which resulted in respiratory arrests. Presently, Tim Cook is the CEO of Apple after Steve Jobs. Thank you.